posted. So, hello everyone. Low to the mic, test everything out. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is December 18th, and this is the December 18th Text Quest Devstream. So, today we are going to be finishing our work on Fmod integration into sound interactions, or into interaction sounds, and we will also be finishing up some minor editor polish, and that should probably not take us too long. We will see, and then we are going to. Well, we'll see how far we get. I don't want to promise something that we might not get to. So, I guess to get started, I should probably go ahead and say we're going to be doing coding and kind of audio today. So, well, not kind of. I mean, we are doing audio today. All right. So first things first. Let me go ahead and open up. Where are you? I hate how spread out everything is, but it has to be that way for assembly definition files. All right. So to give you a sense of where things currently are, we will have to wait because Visual Studio demands attention from the CPU apparently. Any day now, you're just going to be annoying about it, aren't you? I meant to double click on that so that it would open up before I did the stream, but I just completely forgot. All right. So this is what our custom inspector currently looks like. It's a little bit messier, but it does do everything that's coded so far. We're going to finish up item checks and required items today, but we do have word checks, we have our output, and we also have our obtainable items all working as expected. Although, actually, obtainable items don't have our wonderful plus and minus buttons, so we might end up changing that a little bit, but that won't be too hard. So we should be able to blow through the rest of our editor scripting pretty confident within the hour, just because it's kind of word checks, item checks, required items, and obtainable items all kind of have the same structure, and they're all going to kind of look the same. Essentially, they're going to look like word checks, where we have a fold-out menu that shows you specific information about what's underneath it, and then you can expand that to see more information. So in this case, word checks is just something that happens when you type a specific word as a verb. So, for example, if you wanted to say take a flask, then if you type take, it would just say, taken. But if you say get flask, then it might give you a special output or an output that's like, you got e flask. And it's just a nice little way to spice up some interactions. It's not really anything that's going to blow anyone's mind, but it's a nice little bit of Easter egg, and also just a fun thing to do for people to experiment with the parser. So that's what word checks do in a nutshell, and we will one make sure that all of this parses correctly from our spreadsheet, which is right here. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So for now, we're going to go ahead and word checks are done. They do everything that I want. They look right. I probably could spend a little bit more time maybe making this fold out look a little better, but it's fine for now. So we're going to go ahead and move on to item checks, and essentially we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with word checks. We're going to have a verb, the item ID that will display as a fold out, and then we'll have information about all of the contents for the item checks. So let's go ahead and go over here to item check jar. We are going to, actually I could probably go ahead and hit plus here to give us a sense of what this should look like. Not sure what's going on there, but we will find out in a second. So you can see that we have item ID. This is the item that gets kind of checked for, and then we have a verb that defines what verb it's expecting to compare it to, and then we have custom output and sounds and all that. So we are going to go ahead and change this a little bit. I'm curious as to why we get this extra space here. Let's see. So we have this. So this is the word check drawer, and we're essentially going to kind of steal this from it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to copy this. Say private float fields height is equal to this. All right, and then we are going to go ahead and say float height is equal to base.get property height property label blah blah blah. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this. We'll say return height, and then we're just going to say if property dot is expanded, and we're going to say height plus equals fields height. Pretty straightforward. Actually, I can even compress that a little bit more, which is nice. Go ahead and save that. Oh, and I can do that over here too. Aha! I love it when I can compress an if statement down to one line. All right. So that gets our height taken care of. Next, we get to do pretty much again the same thing, where we're gonna kind of copy this. I'm just gonna go ahead and move this through here. Let's just go ahead and paste this. Paste that there. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and say property.isExpanded format verb property.find property relative. I believe it is verb, and then item ID is gonna be the other thing. So we're gonna say item ID, and then we're not gonna say string value. We're actually gonna say dot find property relative, and then we're just gonna say name dot string value. That should give us a proper dropdown with a verb and the ID shown. Let's see. So we're gonna draw our rect next. Ooh, right. I do need to do this. Go ahead and copy that, paste that in there. And then I think we'll be good through here. So let's go ahead and save that out and let that compile. That should essentially draw everything as we would expect. So let's find out. So I do think, by the way, I have figured out more or less the workflow for audio. I have it set up now so that when you create output text, it basically creates output audio. Although funny enough, I don't have it hooked up so that when you hit output, oh, that's a good point. I should probably actually remove. That's really funny. I put so much effort into getting the plus and minus to work on output audio, but probably I should just have this be mapped to output text. Ooh, it's a little awkward. Whatever, it works. All right, so let's go ahead and toggle this open. So we're getting extra space in here, which is kind of weird. But it does look like it's showing up as we would expect. So you can see that take, that's our verb. And then none is our item ID. If we change this to key rusty, that'll show up. Cool. And we can just toggle that open and shut. I do not know where this extra space is coming from. Dollars to donut. It's doing the exact same thing that was happening with word check drawer for some weird reason. So if we go back here to verb drawer, I was getting some weird issue where I had to like subtract the height of my. I'll just show you real quick. So we're gonna go to draw word check section, which is right here. So at a certain point, I had to do this. I had to subtract the height and field spacing of a single line for some reason. I do not understand why, but that's what I had to do. So we're gonna go ahead and copy this, and then we're gonna just paste it here. Let's comment that out for now. And that should solve that little gap there. I really don't know where that comes from. Like I said, I spent an hour yesterday trying to figure out where that gap came from. And I couldn't figure it out because everything I did to debug that showed that the recs were drawing in these places that I expected them. But they, for some reason, were not drawing correctly. I don't even know how to explain that, but they were supposedly drawing in the correct position according to my debugs, but they were not drawing in the correct position according to the actual editor, which is super weird. But what are you gonna do? So, all right. So now that looks like it's working pretty nicely. You can see that we can toggle it open, toggle it closed. Everything expands and moves as we would expect. We can go ahead and collapse that. Cool. So it looks like everything's working out about the way that we would expect. So now we have to draw our delete buttons, which is pretty straightforward. We're essentially going to be, again, copy code that we did for word checks. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome back. How are you doing tonight? Also, how have you been? It's been a while. All right, so we're going to go ahead and copy this line of code. We're going to paste this right here. And then we're going to pretty much just copy this. Hold on. Make sure this, yep. Okay. So we're going to copy this. Put it down to here. item checks, and then we're going to copy this line of code. Same thing. So that should take care of drawing our negative buttons. And that means that we should be able to basically add and subtract these at will very easily, which is the goal. So once that's working, we can move on real quick to required items, and that'll be it for our editor scripting. Oh, right, I need to remove the plus and minus on output audio, because that should just be tied to output text, honestly. Yeah, that's all right. Let's see. So now you can see that we have our minus button here. It looks correct. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to hit plus. You can see we have a second minus button. Let's make this key. Okay, wood rod apparently. We're going to add one more. We're going to make this be keys. Cool. We're going to delete the wood rod. Nice, nice, nice. Cool and cool. All right, so that's all working. Hooray! So that means that we can now go ahead and come back to here. So that's pretty much everything we needed to do for item checks. We're going to go ahead and go up here to our word checks. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to grab this. I'm moving this thing down strangely because I'm basically using it as a way for me to debug to make sure that my height values are always being calculated correctly. All right, so that should do everything that we want. Let's go ahead and let that compile. All we have left to do is do our draw required item section. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of word check drawer because we don't really need it. Don't really need item check anymore or item. I don't think we really need word check anymore. Although now I do need to go check item check real quick. Go to definition. Am I getting the audio in there? I am. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this in here actually because I'm thinking we're gonna need to pull some of that code. Delete you because I don't need you guys anymore. Delete you. And that's fine for now. Okay. So we're going to let that all compile. Doing fine and been doing fine. Been busy doing stuff after marching band wrapped up. Understandable. It is getting to be that season when marching band stops for a little bit. Not forever, just for a little bit. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, so you can see now that we have just one indented field, which is all we have left. Everything else is drawing as we would expect. We're getting pretty much... We do have a little bit of an odd... It looks like we get more spacing down here when we have word checks open, which is a little distressing, but it's not the end of the world. I'm assuming that's because I'm just not spacing it correctly, but meh. Whatever, it's fine. So, all we have left is required items, which currently does nothing because there is nothing to do there. So let's go ahead and get that working. So for required items, we are going to want to, I'm going to go ahead and move a couple of things. So I'm going to move verb drawer and obtainable item drawer over here into data. We're going to let that compile. I've been meaning to do that for a while, so I just figured I might as well do that while I'm going to jump over to a different script real quick. I'm going to go ahead and open up the verb drawer script again. All right, so we need to go to verb, and we need to go to required item info, go to definition. I'm just going to pull that over here. Item ID for the required item. Output, data ID required lit. I was going to say, where the freak is my verb? Okay. So, same thing, more or less. Let's go ahead and visualize this. So this is what I am looking at right now, required items. So we have the item ID, the verb that you use with it, expected output, audio, data ID, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to go ahead and populate all of that. And so that is called required item info. So I'm going to go ahead and say right-click, create, C# script, required item drawer. been making good progress on the game while I've been away. Less than I would like. Pretty much the past 2 months have seen me traveling quite a bit and going to conventions and having a lot of schedule conflicts. So it's been difficult for me to make a ton of progress, or at the very least to make as much progress as I would have liked. So I would answer no. I have not made good progress. I have made some progress, but not good progress in my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and say using Unity Editor. But I think I'm starting to get kind of evened out. Although that's gonna get kind of ground to a halt next week, considering that it's the holidays. And then after New Year's, I think we're gonna get back on schedule quite a bit. But as always, pretty much every year, the last 2 weeks of December are always kind of iffy in terms of productivity, just because, well, holidays. So we're going to go ahead and say using sleepyowl.common editor because we're going to need that. This is going to be a property drawer. This is going to be a custom property drawer type of, and then we're going to say required item info. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say override get height. Override on GUI. Get rid of this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and say float height is equal to that. Then we're going to say return height, and then we're going to say if property dot is expanded. We're not going to do anything yet. We're going to come down here. We're going to say private float fields height is equal to nothing for now, and then we're going to go ahead and say height plus equals fields height. Okay. Did I enjoy the meme? Oh, not equals, equals plus equals. Did I enjoy the memes you made? I did. Like I said, the scroll of truth one has always been a meme that made me laugh. So I deeply enjoyed that, as well as the one where it was the guy just dumping the person off the cliff. That was pretty good. All right. So with this, I think we're gonna say. Let's go ahead and copy this. Hold on, right here. So it's going to be equal to that, except it's not going to be times 4. It's going to be times this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 7. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and say if. Actually, you know what? I bet I could just kind of cheat and grab this. So let's just go ahead and copy this, paste this down here. Okay, so we're going to say verb. Is that correct? It is. And then we are also going to have to say item ID right there. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and say item ID, verb. Output, then data ID. Audio is totally going to be a thing that I need because it's not in here yet, but it will be. So we're going to say fmod sound ID, public, it's an int audio is equal to 0. Okay, we will assign that in a little bit. For now, we're going to go ahead and come over here, let that go. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to, oh wait, I need 8 actually now, don't I? So that means this has to become 8. All right, so after audio, we have data ID, then require equipped. Data ID, require equipped. What is it? Require lit and always require. All right, so that should draw everything the way we would expect, all nice and neat. Let's go ahead and go back here to verb drawer. We're essentially going to do the same thing we did with all the other ones. So we're going to come down here. I guess I could probably actually just straight up take most of this. Well, I can't take all of it. I can probably just take this part. And then I just need to change required items or item checks into required items. Okay. Should do everything that I want. Let's go ahead and come down here. We're going to have to adjust our height, obviously. So let's go ahead and copy this. Paste this in. This is going to be for verb, so we need required items. I'm just going to call this items. All that stuff works. All right. I think that's pretty much everything I needed to do, actually, to get it to draw. So, in theory, all of that should... actually, hold on. Before I boldly proclaim that, let me be sure. Yeah, there it is. Okay. I forgot the one button I needed. Hold on, right here. All right, and this is going to be required items. All right. So now I'm going to let that compile. We should be able to see everything expand as you would expect. So now this, when it's compiled, will open. Well, it actually won't show anything because we don't have any required items yet. But I should be able to hit the plus sign to add it. And then we should actually also just be able to hit the minus sign to remove them. So that should draw everything pretty much in one fell swoop. So let's see. Let's see if I'm nearly as good. I'm not nearly as good as I thought I was. Well, that's deeply saddening. Why are you like this? That's curious. It's very curious. Huh. Height is all kinds of worked on that. Let's see here. Supposition. I did draw you, right? Required item info, which is what you are. Excuse me. Verb drawer. Draw required items section. Required items. Here we are. Instead of check item height, this should be get required items height. I knew I would forget that. I've forgotten that every single time I've made those code changes. Every single time. So now we should have it properly drawing, and then we'll be good. At least I hope so. It's going to be very embarrassing if not. All right, there we are. So let's go ahead and hit plus. Ooh. Really? Aren't you curious? Huh. Let's see. So verb is totally still a thing. But what about... Oh, it's because it's called item, not item ID. For maximum confusion. So that was my mistake. I skimmed it, which always means that I made a mistake. Oh well. So once we have this working, I think that's pretty much all of our... No, not pretty much. The only thing we have left to do editor-wise is just remove the plus and minus buttons from the output audio, because output audio should be exclusively tied to output text. And then once those two are separated, we should have, or I guess not separated, once those two are integrated, we should just need to put in some test values into our spreadsheet to make sure everything works properly, and then we should be good to go on that. Let's go ahead and clear this. Come back to here. We're going to go ahead and hit plus here. Okay, we have nothing, which means that something's gone wrong here. Something's gone horribly, horribly wrong. Oh, same thing, because of course. So we'll go ahead and let that compile. All right, let's see. So we have our required items. None. Take. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, if it's got a verb, the default value for the verb is going to be 0, which is not a verb name. It's just or it's not a verb type. It's just nothing. So that's fun. It looks like everything is resizing as expected. So if I hit plus, we'll get another one. I can toggle that open as well. We can make this extract none. We'll give this like armor arm, goat mask, what have you. We can see all of those show up, so we can easily see what required items are needed and what their verbs are. Um, okay. Now I doubt we're ever going to have multiple ones here, but it's good to have this information just so I don't have to have them all toggled open all the time. .id is set, which is good. Require item or require equipped. Am I getting? Yep. I was gonna say as long as I'm getting my previews, that's good. Cool. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna go up to here and I'm gonna capitalize that. And with that, I think we're basically done for adding new content. Now I need to strip out some of it. Funny enough. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this. And then we're going to go ahead and just copy this, paste you, and paste you. Okay, now everything should draw as we would expect. But before I do anything else, I am going to have to do the draw output section again. So this time, we are not going to have, well, we're going to do this. We're going to say add array element outputs, and I can't do anything else yet because I need to move this. So I gotta copy this, paste this up here. All right. Then we're gonna also go ahead and say add array element output audio. Okay. We are going to go ahead and come down here, get rid of this. So now output audio is no longer the master of its own destiny. We are going to go ahead and get rid of this. Do I need to do that? Okay, yeah, so I can go ahead and get rid of this. We can get rid of this chunk of code, I believe. And that should do everything that we want, I think. So let's go ahead and we actually don't need to say -5 there anymore. Okay. This is also not something that we need anymore. Cool. So now if we let that compile, we should see the required items will get a little bit wider. It'll line up with everything else now. And our output audio will no longer have these plus and minus buttons because that will be exclusively tied to output text, which it is not yet because I totally forgot to do the delete part. Because, of course. So output audio. That compile. Interesting. Still a little bit closer to the edge than I would have liked, but whatever. So in theory, once that compiles, we should be able to hit plus, and it will add both a new output text and a new output audio section. So if I hit plus, we got both. Nice. Let's go ahead and load that scene real quick so that we can do our sound selection. Okay then. Well, I guess we're going to wait for that to load. Well, while that's happening, I'm going to take a drink. Of course, it always does that whenever I say I'm about to go take a drink. Okay. So, with this, we can go ahead and let's just add one more. We'll have this be taken 2. And then taken 3. Just to make sure that's correct. Torch. Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll just keep it like that. So I'm going to delete output 1, which is taken 2, which should get rid of the torch. Nice. It's gone. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and say minus, and then plus, and then how nice it worked. All right, cool. So I don't know if I should auto-populate that or not. It's fine. All right, so I think all we really have left to do now is get our parsing functioning. So we're going to need to run a test. Let's go ahead and go back here. We're going to go to our spreadsheet. So we're going to have to add a bunch of test cases, which actually probably would be better in an actual test environment. So I'm going to go ahead and update my interactive object template because I do have some changes that I need to make real quick. We're going to go over here to verbs. We're going to make this JA_. Okay, those are all correct. Let's go to required items. Kind of been playing fast and loose with this just to make sure everything works. Okay, obtainable items. That all works pretty well. Item checks. Let's go ahead and copy this. Go ahead and right click. Insert one right. Paste that. Word checks. Same thing. Insert one right. Audio. Same thing. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just copy this. So we're going to say make a copy. I'm just going to move that into test. And we're just going to go ahead and double click on this. We're going to call this test object. All right, object items, all of these things. We'll just say test object. Or how about this? An object used for testing purposes. Ooh, you're not wrapping. Why aren't you wrapping? You should totally be wrapping. Let's go all the way back over. I'm curious to know if it's not set up to do that on this. It's apparently not. Well, let's fix that. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and let's see, we're going to need to keep this. Get rid of that. Just make that none. Container, we're not going to need. Let's go ahead and delete that. We're not going to need the torch. This is going to be a pretty basic object. We're not going to need that. We're not going to need the door. We're not going to need the lock. We're not going to need the switch. We're not going to need the directions for the switch. We're not going to need the lever information for the switch or combinable information. There's too much switch stuff. Don't need character information. Don't need enemy information. We don't need item information. I'm just going to make this a regular old object. We don't need it to be a map. Don't need it to be a weapon. Okay. Jeez, too many things. All right, so let's go ahead and go back over to here. So we're going to have this be default. And now we'll do text only because that's what it is. Text only, text only, text only, text only. Okay. So our output for this is going to be, we're going to need to test a couple of things. So let's go ahead and say strain to lift the object name. But cannot. All right, then we're going to go ahead and say, I'm going to have this be none because I'm pretty sure I have it set up that if I don't populate anything, it's just going to default to none, which is the desired which is the desired behavior, just because that way I don't have to populate this with a bunch of stuff that's not really necessary. It also helps keep my file size a little bit smaller. Drop, we're going to go ahead and do just default fail for now. fail. Equip, we're just gonna kind of like scroll through there for a bit. All right, so for, let's see, let's try doing multiple hits. So we'll say you strike the object name. Oh man, I just realized I just complicated this so much for myself. Dang it. Okay. So it's gonna be interesting. Currently, the way that word checks and item checks work, they essentially kind of like stomp on whatever the default verb output is, but there might be situations where that's not a good idea. Like, for example, if you hit something and you're supposed to hit it multiple times, if you say hit and then hit with rock, both of those should count as hit and therefore should increment it, but you should probably get a different output. But that means that here in item checks, I should probably allow default, like a default output. So if nothing is specified in output, then it should use whatever the expected verb output is. Oh my god! Which I think is what I actually do right now. I think if it's an empty string, then it just defaults to whatever the verb is. But whew, boy, that is a challenge, and that does actually raise some complications. Oh, geez, quite a few complications. Um, all right, so that means we're probably gonna have to break audio out from output. Like they're gonna be tied together, but I can't grab them at the same time. I need to have two distinct calls to them, otherwise I will get paired behavior, which is not always what we want. Oy, great. So we're gonna go ahead and say you strike the object name, then you strike the object name harder. And then finally, you destroy the object name. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of put this as, so we have a string that we wanted to do here. I'm just gonna say test hit 1, test hit 2, test hit, test hit 3. Okay, that's our audio. Rest move, whatever, that's all fine. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and go over to required items, which I don't suppose I have. I guess I can make it unlock for now. So let's go ahead and just do default. We're going to go over to required items. I'm going to say test key is the item that I want. I guess it would actually be called key underscore test. Verb is going to be unlock. Output is going to be let me think. Nothing, I suppose. We'll leave those as nothing. Test unlocked. Require equipped false. Require lit false. Always require true. Okay. Other things that we're going to need are, let's try, well, that's the only required items we have. Obtainable items. Well, how do I want to do this? I suppose. Oh, jeez, that complicates things so much. All right, I'm trying to think through how I want to present this. We might come back to obtainable items, or I guess actually I can just go ahead and give you something. So Let's go ahead and just say examine. We get I guess instead of an output, we'll say oof, you examine the object name. Okay. We're going to go ahead and say under obtainable items, the item ID is going to be test key. The verb is examine. The output is you found a key. The object name. That's not how you spell object name. Okay, go ahead and get that to be over there. Might as well have that be set up over here as well. Let's make sure that that wraps. Required items, make sure that this wraps. Item checks, again, same thing, everything should wrap. And word checks, make sure everything wraps. Cool, let's go ahead and go back here. Data ID is going to be test key found. Oops. Test key found. Amount is 1, and obtain once is going to be true. Okay, item checks, this is where things get fun. So we're going to go ahead and say, what are my item IDs? Collection manager. Well, maybe I put it over here. There we are. Let's see. So I think I have a Royal Scepter. Cool. That's what I thought it was, but I was not sure. I might have called it staff. Royal _ scepter. Verb is going to be hit. Output is going to be nothing. And our audio is going to be test metal for now. That's good enough. Again, these are all test things. Let's go ahead and say get for take output you fail miserably. Oops, hold on. Wrap that in quotes so it doesn't get exported as a cell array, and the output is going to be quack. Because why not? Alright, so I think this is pretty much everything that I need it to be. So we're going to go ahead and get this to exist as a test object, and we're going to export some JSON. While you're working on keys, maybe you can make the wax key a bit stronger. Maybe, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. What fun would that be, after all? So we're going to go ahead and check replace existing files, collapse single row sheets. I got the hiccups. We'll go ahead and say can't minify data. Export cell arrays, export sheet arrays, and then array prefix. So we're going to go ahead and say visualize here. This should show us everything. Info. Oh, right. No, we don't export sheet arrays because we just use the array prefix. So we can just go ahead and say visualize. Nice. You know, every time I take TextQuest to a convention, there's always a couple of people that will try to play Sierra mode without playing normal mode, and I always make sure to walk up to them and say, just so you're aware, you will not have fun in Sierra mode because it's not meant to be fun. It's meant to be challenging. Normal mode is meant to be fun. It's meant to be an enjoyable experience that's, not easy to get through, but intuitive, makes sense. I think I've given this spiel a few times. But Sierra mode is meant to be more of a like, do you remember King's Quest? Not the new one, the original one, without Christopher Lloyd. It's that one. It's that experience. it's the type of experience where you can eat a bowl of fruit and then not be able to win 2 hours later. Um, Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that mean. I will be nice in some capacity. I will only make the game unwinnable through missing an object in the first level. Um, I will not. I will not do a giant dickery thing and just have it be 2 hours later. I'm not that mean. So, force of habit. So we're gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna export this. And while that's happening, I am going to go ahead and just for the sake of test purposes, we're going to grab this. I am going to grab the silver key. We're just going to drag this under props. Come back over to here. Let's go to our collection manager. Go to item ID collection. Please tell me I did. Dang it. Nope. It's all my old ones, which makes me sad. Which is fine. So I'm going to need to update this. Do I really? I don't really have to have these be done like this. They could probably be in a CSV, honestly, not really JSON. Yeah, might as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to duplicate this because I'm going to make this the test. Test. We're going to go ahead and bring this down to 1. I don't think I have. Yeah, sadly I don't. Let's go ahead and go into debug view. I hate doing it this way, but it will work. Test. I'm sorry, key test. It's funny. Oh, you son of a. You son of a. Okay. We're gonna make you 101, and we're gonna make you key underscore test. There we are. That was a hash thing, and that was specifically for another thing. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and drag this over to here. Where is my test room? It's right there. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag this down to our test. I hate how long this takes. All right, so that's our item ID. That should give us what we need in regards to that. We're going to go ahead and rename this test key. We are going to make this key be instead of like that. I guess we'll make it red. Might as well. All that's fine. Let's go ahead and rename this to key test. Everything else is pretty much going to be the same, which is fine. Let's go ahead and sure, we'll keep it like that. We're going to go ahead and drag this down to here. Oh dear, oh dear. Right. I really don't want to do that, but I'm going to have to. Sorry, I'm kind of muttering to myself as I scroll through the project, which I'm sure is not really making sense to people. But kind of looking through some things just to try and figure out how I want to structure this. I guess for now I'm just going to put this in with the rest of them, which is dumb, but I'll delete it later. All right, now the other thing I have to do is come down to here and go to item database, grab you, and then I need to add the test key to this. All right, so now I can go ahead and delete this test key. It should be obtainable from the test object. So in order to get that to work, I'm just going to go ahead and we're just going to make a new object. I will grab a model of some kind, which I guess will probably just be a chair. A chair. Which is great because I have 2 different forms of wooden chair, including what must be a, I'm just going to assume, incredibly old chair that I am 90% sure I'm not using. Probably need to get rid of that. Oh yeah, I'm definitely not using this because this is that, which is oh so old. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that open so I can come back later and delete it. Instead, chair. I believe this is the one that I want. Yes. Ooh, maybe I am using that model still. Oh god, no way. Nope, this is the old one. So that's not the one I'm using either. How curious. Would it? It must be this. Yep, there we go. I was going to say, if it's blue and black like that, it means it's a substance. All right, so let's go ahead and drag this in. I guess, yeah. I'm going to put this here. And it is not, it's not really much of anything right now, which makes sense, right? Because we're not actually doing anything. I'm going to go ahead and remove the box collider on this. You know what? Actually, I guess we'll keep it on there. And all I'm going to do is just add some. Let's collapse you. Add component. We're just going to add a collision module. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and add to here. We're going to add a model module. Okay. And then we're just going to make this be our test object. Why do you never capitalize the first? All right. Let's go ahead and download our JSON file. Right. Well, I guess it's going in here with this. So we're going to go ahead and just drop this in here. Get rid of this. Let's come back over to here. We're going to make this an interactable object. Interactive object, right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and apply this. And let's go ahead and open this all up. We're just going to go ahead and clear this out. Hit update. How many errors did we find? Ooh, right. That. I need to add some sounds, don't I? So let's go ahead and open up fmod. It's going to be fun. It's going to be our text quest. Okay, we're going to go over here to game development, Unity, text quest, audio, fmod. We're going to go ahead and go to universal sound effects. I suppose I will create a new folder called tests, or just test. And there's not really going to be a ton in here, which makes sense because it's kind of going to be the generic test thing. We're going to make a new 3D event. We're just going to call this test metal. What were my sheet values here? So I need quack, test metal, obtainable items, which right now does not actually have output. Hold on, obtainable items. Should that return? Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and audio. This is going to be interesting. Paste one, right? Audio. I know it's not going to do anything right now. Let's go over here to required items. No audio there. Test hit 1, 2, and 3. I also need to re-export this actually, so this is going to be test take. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and re-export that. We are going to come over to here. I'm going to right-click, show and explore. Have that be over here. Let's go ahead and come back here. Get rid of you. We're going to say download this. Show in folder. Test. Let's drag this over. Replace. Delete this one. Close this. Come back to here. It should change a little bit, not too much. Testing. Let's go to fmod sound manager. There we are. We're gonna go down to here. So as of right now, this is kind of doing everything. Let me go ahead and copy this or duplicate it. Sorry. We're gonna say sound collection dash test. Seriously, you never capitalize the first letter. Let's go ahead and hit delete on these. We're going to need to come back to here. So test metal is just going to be the sound of us of hitting metal. So let's go ahead and we're just going to say, actually, hold on. I think I should have impacts. Metal. So we're gonna stop talking in a second. Hello, Garrett. Welcome back. How you doing tonight? So I'm gonna have to stop talking so that I can listen to my sounds instead of my sweet, sultry voice. Eh. Huh. Okay, not quite that. Maybe. I like that a little bit. Screw it. I'm just gonna do this because it's fun. So Control 3. Let's go ahead and come back here. We're gonna say new folder. I'm just gonna call this test. Come back to here. Drag that in. Okay, so that's our metal impact, but then we also need to have just generic, I guess. Wow, that sounds like a gunshot. That's pretty good. That's also pretty good. Oof. Sure. So those are our good test cases. And so that's test metal, test hit. What was my other sounds? Wrong thing. Go ahead and close this. Test take is one. Oh, that's right. That was going to be straining. Hold on. We're going to come back here. Do I have a strain sound? Damn. I was really hoping for like a generic. Maybe like a grunt. Oof. Yeah, okay, sure. I'll take that. Okay. I think that's all we needed. We have test take, 3 test hits. We are going to need test metal and oh, a quack, right? Hold on. Let's see. Do we have a quack? What about duck? Here we are. Good enough. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to hit save. I'll get everything working here. I'm going to put this over here. We're going to go back here to test metal, which is this. So that's the metal that we want. Let's go ahead and drag this in. Since this is a test, I'm not too worried about attenuation. I guess I can go ahead. Oh, actually, hold on. I did that wrong. Alt is what I want. So I'm going to do like that. That's fine. Sure. Okay. That's probably a bit too much in terms of attenuation, I would say. So probably something closer to like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's pretty much all that needs to be. Let's go ahead and create another new 3D event. Christmas is stressful. Yes, it is. It very much is. Haven't got all your shopping done yet? I do not either, so don't feel bad if you don't. All right, so this is going to be hit 1. Um, so this is going to be, hold on. Ooh, 5 actually is not good. Yes, I'm kind of curious. Let's go back to impacts. Generic. I'm wondering if it deleted. Okay, so it didn't. That's good. It didn't delete it from the original location. There, 7's good. Okay, so make sure they're all different. Cool. So we're going to go back to hit 1. I'm going to make it generic. Go ahead and come back here. Again, same thing. We're going to have a little bit of pitch variation. It's very subtle, which is fine. Pretty much that's all we need from that, too. Let's go ahead and just say sign to bank, master bank, sign to bank, master bank. Let's go ahead and can I copy you? Duplicate even better. Nope, did some last night. Some people are hard to buy for. That is very, very true. Let's go ahead and delete you. We're going to drag generic 3 into here. Do the same thing, just a little bit of pitch variation. Okay. Let's go ahead and right click on that. Assign to bank, master bank. New event, new 3D event. We're going to call that hit 3. We're just going to do this. Same thing. A little bit of pitch variation. Right click, assign to bank, master bank. Let's go ahead and save. All we have left now is our quack. Oh wait, no, I do need the take sound effect. So we're gonna go ahead and do duck. Let's go ahead and get some like pitch variation here with some potential volume variation. Right about to like there, I'm gonna say. Okay. Let's go ahead and say assign to bank, master bank, and last one, new event, new 3D event, test take. Okay, grunt. Let's go ahead and just do some minor pitch variation. Okay, assign to bank, master bank. Cool. Let's go ahead and save. Let's go ahead and build. That should rebuild all of that. We come back over here. It should now be updatable. So let's add some. Let's add some sound. Let's see. Some people we're using Fmod for Manifold Garden too. It's a bit of a pain. Yeah, I remember a while back. William said that he was going to be doing that. Let's see. Did I integrate it with source control? I have not yet, but that's because I'm using Unity Collaborate. I would ideally actually like to keep it. I might go ahead and just pay for freaking GitHub, and I would probably just use it as a separate thing so that it doesn't go with the build, because I don't really want Fmod to move around with the Unity project. I would prefer that like it just has the banks in the project, and that's all we have to worry about. And then I can just move the Fmod stuff independent of the project. It can be a little bit more lightweight that way. So that's going to be my plan. But right now it's not actually in version control. I probably should do that real quick. But that means I probably should finally cave and buy an actual crap. Is it a pro account or whatever on GitHub to have unlimited private repos? Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and go to test. Let's go ahead and say hit 1. We will add that sound. to test and say hit 2. We're going to add that sound as well. We're going to go ahead and go down to test, hit 3, add sound, test, quack, add that sound, test metal, add that sound. And then the last thing is test take, add that sound. Let's go ahead and open these all up, make our edits. So this is, I believe, called test hit 1. Yeah. All right. So we're going to call this test hit 1. How is Manifold Garden coming, by the way? I haven't caught any of his recent streams. I've been meaning to, but I keep missing them. Test hit 2. Test hit 3. This is going to be our quack. And then we have test metal and test take. Not test tail, test take. That is what I called it, right? Yes. Good. Now, I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to go ahead and come down here to Sound Manager. I guess I'm not cheating, I'm just adding it to the collections. So let's go ahead and save that. Everything else seems to... Oh, right. Instance limit needs to be 3 for all of these. That is going to kill me if I'm not careful. Okay. Everything else is good. Let's go ahead and let that go. Hit save. We're going to go back here to test object. We are going to clear this. We're going to just hit update. Sad. Test hit 3. What? Dang it. Oh. Oh ho ho. Well, aren't you interesting? Sound equals no. Format. Sound name. Sound name is empty. How curious. Okay. Well, a couple things. First things first. Let's go ahead and fix this. So you should be called test hit with a capital H. Okay. That all looks good now. And I'm assuming that the empty one is... Well, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm not really sure where that's coming from. I'm kind of curious, because it only happens once, apparently, which is interesting. Let's go ahead and collapse that for now. Let's come back here. We're going to go ahead and just hit clear, then hit update. We should get one more. Ooh, wait, one more null reference. Ooh. Obtainable item info. Ah, right. That's why. So I need to come back over to here. We are not doing anything with required items right now. Although I do need to. I need to basically change it so that I do this. So we're going to come back to here. So instead of setting audio directly like that, we're going to set it like that. That should solve that little problem. Let's go ahead and let that compile. Fmod has a Perforce plugin that we use. We've had times where stuff didn't appear to make it into source control. Interesting. Well, you know what they say. The last 10% is the last 90%. Because when you start polishing, there's never enough polish in the world. All right, we're going to go ahead and clear that once that compiles, I suppose. Come back here, we're going to say clear, then we're going to go ahead and update. Okay. So that's fine, just getting that error out. It doesn't actually break anything. Next, I'm actually going to go ahead and come down to here, interactive object inspector. And Down to you. Okay. That's just going to get rid of these older verb drawers. So now it's going to use the new ones that I have. The new fanciness. So once this is in, I think we'll be able to test by just walking up to it. I will find out momentarily. Make this the interactive layer. Yes, change children. We're gonna just go ahead and move this. Hold on, we're just gonna move this out. Okay, stop it. There. We're just gonna move this to there. That's all fine. All right. So did we get any problems with this? Nope. Verbs take, output, text only, output text, use string to lift the whatever. Test take, all of that is working, which is wonderful. I think that's pretty much everything that we want. We do have a get, take, that's a quack. Output is a Y. Why is it just a Y? Let's find out why it's just a Y, because it should not just be a Y. Item, nope. Here we are. You fail miserably. Let me guess. I bet this is actually not a problem with my JSON. I bet it's a problem with my JSON parser. Yeah. How sad. Well, that's something I can fix relatively quickly. Whatever, I'll just say you failed miserably. I'm assuming that was just my parser then, because it's probably all kinds of borked. Item checks, which did I not do anything with? I thought I did. Royal scepter right there. Required items. Obtainable items. That's not good. None of those parsed correctly, which is, needless to say, problematic. So let's find out why none of you did. So, oh, also, yay, it's all just one thing again. I suppose hit, we can check our multiple outputs here. That's all good. So I suppose we can just real quick to see, just so that I don't feel completely demoralized, we can see if our basic verb interactions are doing what we would expect. So I'm going to try doing take with get as my verb, and then I'm going to try hitting it multiple times to see what happens. We'll see what that does. Oh, dang it! I always forget. I can't play with splash fade, because when I do that, it just loads the start scene. Yeah, the why I think is because my JSON parser is actually terrible, and I never actually got around to fixing it. And by terrible, I mean it is actually not terrible. It's fine. It's just that I. Oh, yep, there we go. Cool. We're gonna do this, aren't we? Okay. Let's go ahead and unload this scene. Now I can play. All right. Okay, so let's go for take. We got a null reference. Ooh, a null reference, you say? Really? What's the null reference? I'm dying to know. It's whatever this is, but something has gone horribly wrong. Oh, you son of a... Hold on. Gotta load that scene back up, because it looks like my sound manager didn't... Yep. So I need to say save scene. Oh, wait, that's why. Okay, I gotta actually hit apply. That makes sense. Unload scene. Apply. So, are you saying that it parsed 002 as 2, or it parsed 2 as 002? Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not... The only problem that I have really with the Unity parser is that you have to have a bunch of useless data classes, basically, that you then use as containers for that data. And it doesn't really work in situations where, for example, my values are actually integers because they're using GUID hashes, but I can't possibly make those human readable. So I have to use string values that are the names of these sounds that I want to play that then get converted into integers, which means that I have to just, like, I can't really do that all at once. So it just kind of, like, using Unity's JSON stuff is really good for quick and dirty little bits of JSON parsing. But if you're doing anything complex, which is what I'm doing, um, like it becomes too unwieldy. It threw an exception. That's interesting, huh? I wonder why it would possibly throw an exception. You'd think it would just parse it as two. Um, does it not handle optional values? I thought that if you gave it something that it... No, I think you can have fields not populated in the JSON, but you can't have fields that don't exist in the JSON. I think that is the case. Really? Oh, maybe I had it backwards. I thought it was the other way around because I remember tinkering with it at work recently, and I thought that I could set it up so that if I didn't include a field for something, or if I didn't include information for a field that existed in the data class, then it was fine. But if I had extra information that was not in the data class, then it was not okay. Um, but I could also be misremembering that. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say take. Nice. Okay, and then hit. What? 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 Okay. Well, that's not right. Um, that's not right. Right? How interesting. Um, okay. Okay then. Let's try that again. How curious. I don't know why it would do that. Hmm. I have no possible reason to understand why, or to even. I don't have any reason. No, I do have a reason because it's happening. I don't know what would be causing it to play the wrong sound effect entirely. That's weird. So if I do hit again. Okay, now if I do take. Ooh, hello. Hmm. I have a theory. And it goes a little something like this. Huh. Okay. Hold on. We're gonna do this quick style. There we are. So let's see. Where are you? You're there. Okay. Don't know why you're there, but you're there. So you should be, by all rights, playing that, but you're not, which is curious. How interesting. It apparently... Yeah, it's all about right. Huh. Why on earth would it... do that, does that mean that Studio Event Emitter can't have events reassigned to it once it's played? That's interesting. Hmm. I. Huh. Okay. Um. Well, that's not great. Let's figure out what's going on here. That's not great. It's not great at all. Um. So if I try to play, basically what's happening, and of course I just closed interactive object, but what are you gonna do? It should just be trying to do play fmod. Instance find fmod, blah 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 blah, all that fun stuff. Play sound. Let's go definition. Fmod sound source, sound transformed, set parent, blah 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 blah. Fmod instance request source dot play sound. Huh. Sound ID is equal to sound ID. Cache source dot event is equal to that. Maybe I have to do like cache source dot. Should I call stop first? That doesn't seem right. Let's go ahead and close this. Come back here. I'm pretty sure that actually it should do that. Yeah, right there. Oh dear. Well, this is distressing. Playing coroutine. Cache source dot play while cache source dot is playing. So he's call cache source dot stop. Cache source dot event is equal to sound dot event path. Interesting. By all rights, these values are correct. But they're playing the wrong thing, which is interesting. Okay. Huh. I guess I can test this via theory, which is going to suck, but it's possible, I suppose. Let's go ahead and try playing this one more time. This is going to be a challenge. I basically have to double tap it, which is going to be really difficult. So I'm going to do take, and I'm going to say hit. Damn it. I don't think I was fast enough. So I have to hit it. I have to like double tap up really quickly. Damn it. Okay, so I got two new ones. One that was a hit and one that was a take. Except actually that invalidated my results. Hold on. Because the second one that I get to has to be the one that hasn't already happened. Okay, let's try that again. This is going to be difficult. I have to... God, I think I have less than like a quarter of a second to double tap up twice and hit enter, which is not a ton. Like, that's not really a lot, but when I'm trying to do this properly. Okay, so I'm going to say take. I'm going to say hit. I'm going to say take. Say hit. Say got it. So yeah. Yep. So that's interesting. It seems that whenever fmod's studio event emitter is used, it caches information that prevents it from playing unique sounds again. That doesn't make sense. Then again, it's entirely possible that Studio Event Emitter is meant to just be a test case after all. I suppose the quickest way to do that would be to edit the script to see what it's doing. So, let's see, event instance. Oh. Perhaps. Oh. How curious. Well, maybe I do have to do this then. Event instance. That's unfortunate. So I probably need to make a lightweight version of this. That's not doing all of these on enable, on disable stuff. Which I guess kind of makes sense. Okay. Because I don't need the overhead of all of these triggers. Look up. So curious. All right, fine. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and grab our fmod sound source script here. I guess that means I could just roll this into fmod sound source. Now that I think about it. Oh man, this is gonna be super weird. Yep. Well, no, actually, I guess I'm gonna make my own generic fmod sound source, or I guess fmod source, fmod audio source, I guess is what I would call it. Because fmod has a few example scripts, which is what I was basing that off of, fmod studio. But I guess the event emitter itself is justifiably just a test script. It's not actually meant to be. I'm sure it can be used in production, but clearly, actually, no, it can't, because if it registers that event and then it keeps it forever, it's not useful. So cool. Let's do this then. So I'm going to need to right click here, say create. I guess I would actually. Jeez, hold on. Let's go ahead and create a folder here. We're just going to call this fmod. I'm going to create C# script. I guess this is going to be fmod audio source. Programming. It's super weird. That is not untrue. Text quest. I guess it could be a mono behavior. Might as well make him SOS mono behavior. So we're gonna go ahead and say using. Yeah, sure, why not? Sleepyowl.common. Okay. So I guess this is gonna be what it is. We're gonna say serialize field. Private string. I don't want to call you, so we're going to say fmod event is equal to that. We're going to come up here to say using fmod unity. We're going to make this an event field. That's pretty much all we need. So let's take a look at Studio Event Emitter. I'm just going to drag this over. We're going to kind of. Oh, interesting. So you want to actually set. Oh no, that's setting the parameter. Okay. So that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and copy probably all of this for now. We're not going to worry about handle game event. We're not going to worry about stopping. All that fun stuff. probably want to do that. Okay, and instance. Probably we want to grab this. These two, I guess. Perhaps I need to do all of this. We'll grab this. I don't think I need anything else. I think I do need all of that, though. So let's scroll up. Okay. We are not going to worry about trigger once and has triggered. Are you actually, did I pull you over? I don't recall pulling you over. Oh, I was gonna say. I don't think we actually need that, so let's get rid of trigger once. So we're gonna just go ahead and say string that is null or empty fmod event. Okay. I guess we can do it like that. Let's go ahead and clean this up just a little bit. Fmod event. All right. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Paste that in, and let's see. Snapshot. How curious. All right. So fmod event again. Let's see. Is one shot. All of that fun stuff is pretty straightforward. Collapse some of this. Why on earth do you need rigid bodies? Oh my goodness. Okay, I guess we're gonna. I'm gonna comment that out for now because I don't need any of that. I don't have physics associated with anything. So that's super weird, but okay. Let's see. I don't know. We'll let that go for now. We don't care about has triggered. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. How curious. Stop. Set parameter. He's playing. Handle game event. We don't care about you. System threading tasks, which is interesting. Enforce library orders, preload, lookup, event description, blah 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 blah. I'm not sure about this. Okay, so in theory, we should be able to just associate this with our fmod sound source, and it should work. It's going to behave pretty much exactly the same, I believe, as the studio event emitter, but it will be our own script, which means we can start deviating from there. So that's going to be a little bit better for us. Let's go ahead, and I believe I'm just going to need to say fmod sound. Okay, sound. There we are. So with that, we are going to want to have a component fmod audio source. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Not very much, but I do believe in you. Come on. There we are. So we do have a little bit more of a rough inspector, which means that I probably need to do a custom inspector at some point, but this is fine for now. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to here. I'm going to go to my fmod sound source. We are going to change studio event emitter to just be fmod audio source. Fmod audio source. We're going to go ahead and copy this. I know you're going to cause all kinds of problems right now. Studio event emitter, cache source, all of this fun stuff. This is going to be, almost forgot. Wow. Really? Public void play. Don't do that. Okay. Except I called play wrong. What am I gonna do? All right. So let's see here. Thank you, by the way. Is that Aiden me? I kind of want to say it's that, but I could be wrong. Hopefully, I got the name right. I'm terrible with names, but thank you for the follow. How are you doing tonight, by the way? And also, welcome to the Devstream. Okay, so we want this to just be called play. That's going to cause a problem because we have two different things that have the same thing. But this is going to be our event name. So we're just going to go ahead and say fmod event is equal to event name, and then we are just going to call regular old play. Okay, let's go back over to here. We are just going to call. Oh, that's sad. In more ways than one. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this. We're going to path in this. And then we're going to say string event path. Paste that in. Do we have a problem? Oh. Okay, I guess I need to have that anyway. So we're going to go ahead and go down to here. I'm going to say public string fmod event get return fmod event. All right, come back down to here. Go to fmod sound source. Boo, boo, boo. All right, I think that should have it behaving the way we would expect. I think. Question mark. So let's go ahead and let that compile. Sorry, I messed that up. And I guess actually I can go ahead and do this then. Cool. So let's let that compile. In theory, again, in theory, this code should play sounds, but it might not. But it'll behave basically the exact same as the default studio event emitter, which means that once we play a sound, that's all that sound will play ever. So we're going to need to change that. But I want to just make sure that we start from the basically from a position that we know works. So we're going to let this compile. Once that's done, we're going to remove the studio event emitter. I'm going to go ahead and just play again, try to mess with the chair, see if we can get some sounds playing, and then once we've confirmed that it is working, then we will be able to go ahead and try to fix our sound problem, or our sound entrapment, I guess. So. Alrighty then. So let's walk over here. We're going to go ahead and say take. Nice. Okay, so we do have it playing audio, and again, if we do that, it's going to do the same thing. Is C# hard because I'm going to learn it and make a game? So C# is it's a pretty good language, but it's not necessarily the easiest one to start with. You'd probably want something. It's sharp, not hard. Welcome back, Cache Override. How are you doing tonight? So C# is not terrible to learn. It's got similarities to JavaScript in terms of structure. It's a little more explicit than JavaScript, but there are some similarities there. So it's a decent language to come in on, but it's also one that's probably a little bit more. It has a little bit more of a learning curve. than something like Java or JavaScript does. But it's nowhere near as bad as C or C++. Yep, like Garrett says. Um, it is much easier than like base Objective C or C++ because you don't have to worry about management of memory or resource allocation, and you don't have to worry about garbage collection. C# has a lot of built-in features to handle that for you. Um, so mainly the big gain there is that you don't have to worry about things like pointers, which is always a pain. but uh, but yeah, so C# is hard if you're doing advanced stuff, but if you're not doing anything super crazy in depth with C#, not crazy at all to learn. So but that's cool. So if you're building a game, what type of game are you going to be working on? All right, so we can go ahead and start trying to get this to do what we want. So I'm going to move this over. I'm going to delete, or not delete, I'm going to just close Studio Sound Emitter because I don't think we need it anymore. I will go ahead and rename this so that things are all nice and proper because I hate having fields with capital letters. Ooh, you son of a... That's why they do that. Event params. Okay. I rename this to override attenuation. Rename this to override min distance, and then rename this to override max distance. Let's go ahead and save that. Okay. So, of course, I destroyed that, even though that's funny enough. Now I actually need that freaking script. So let's go ahead and go back here. Studio event. Oh, not that. I don't need the editor. Okay. The main thing that I was looking for is I need this. I believe. So, oh, maybe I don't. But I guess I should probably have that on destroy function anyway, just to have it. So we're gonna come down here, do that. Get rid of you. Make you preload. I don't know why we wouldn't do that, even if we are quitting. Go 2D and 3D? Do you mean that your game is going to be a game where you go between 2D and 3D, or do you mean like 2D and 3D forms of the game go? Because that would be interesting. Because now I'm thinking of something like Ultimate Chess, but with Go, which I feel would be also very amusing. I'm actually kind of surprised. Do they have that? Hold on. I'm curious now. Let's see. So there's... Is it not called Ultimate Chess? I thought it was called Ultimate Chess, but maybe it's not. There's some game where it's like made in Unreal and it's just chess, like normal chess, but all of the models are like super high fidelity and the environments are amazingly detailed and realistic, but it's just chess. um, and I would kind of find it funny if every like hardcore strategy tabletop game like that, like chess and Go, had just ultra HD games of them. That would just be so funny to me. Um, okay, so I guess we don't necessarily need this, but maybe we do want this? No, that doesn't make sense. Preload is not set to true, right? I'm going to make 2D and 3D games. Okay. I see. I see. But what game were you planning on working on for your first game? Is what I was getting at. Chess Ultra. That's what that is. Let's see. Yeah, this is it. This is what I was talking about. Oh, they have checkers. Or no, that's just chess. That's funny. So like I said, it's just this terrible loading, Google. Come on. Um, it's just like it's chess. It's just chess with high res pictures or high res models and environments. And apparently Google is deciding to not load at all, so you're all just gonna have to believe me. Um, that is quite amazing. But yeah, I kind of do wonder. Oh my God, it's on Nintendo Switch now because of course it is. That's also amazing. Okay, amazing, amazing. So now someone needs to go make this, but with Go. I'm I would kind of be surprised if it's not them. Like they should do that. Whoever made that game, Rightstone Games or whatever. All right. So let's go ahead and come back here. I so event description. I suppose that would be the thing that we want. I think we have to clear event description and event instance, I'm guessing. Um, where do we set instance? Do we never set it? There has to be a point where we set it, right? Release is valid. Here we are. So in play, if not, instance.isValid. Create instance. Okay. So I think we want to call release and clear handle, perhaps, when we call start, or not start, stop. And it's doing that, okay. What the frick? Surely they can't expect you to just delete it every time. That doesn't make sense. Why would you have the overhead? Hmm. You have no idea? Well, what kind of games do you like? Obviously, I'm not saying like make the first AAA game that comes to mind, but usually the types of games that you enjoy are a good indication of something for you to kind of tinker with to just get your hands wet in the game development pool. So interesting, interesting, interesting. It. Hmm, 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 hmm. I have no idea what to make. I don't know the basics of C sharp. I'm just learning. No, I get that, but um, one of the things that I found when I learned programming was having having a goal. So like having or looking at a game mechanic that I liked, and just thinking, okay, how do I get to do that? How do I make that work in C sharp? Because that'll help keep you motivated because you know that there is you know what the end result already is because you're basing it off of something that exists and that you know. You just don't know how they did it, so you have to kind of guess and try to make your code work to get to that point. So it's a good way to kind of keep your eye on the prize, as it were. Um, so interesting. I I'm gonna go ahead and apologize because it's gonna probably be a little bit of hemming and hawing for the next couple of minutes while I try to figure out where exactly they like reset this so that it's not terrible. Um, so when we call stop, we stop everything. We release it. We clear handle. I don't. Let's see. What other options do we have? Instance dot get channel group get description. Oh, that's cool. Huh. Listener mask get parameter by index parameter value. Oh my goodness. You know what's going to be really fun for me is when I start doing editor tools for fmod. Because that's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. Um, So release and clear are already called. Set listener mask, set pause, set pitch, property reverb level, volume, user data stop, which they're already doing. Let's see. Is this a serialized class? No, it's a struct. Shoot. So that's not gonna help me any. I'm assuming you're gonna be the same. Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess when we call play, I will have to. I guess. Well, how about we do that? Hold on. Let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to say if instance.isValid, we're going to release it, and then we're going to go ahead and I guess that's all we need to do. Maybe. Let's just let that go. See if that does it. Because that would be nice. And I'm kind of just stabbing in the dark here because I do not quite know the intricacies of Fmod yet. I do know that after working with it on TextQuest, I really wish that I could work with it at work. Just because it's actually pretty fun to work with, and I would like to do more audio stuff for the games at work, but that would probably be a hard sell to my boss because of, all the Fmod licensing that would have to happen. And we do not have all of the money in the world, and therefore it's quite difficult to do things that are that expensive, which is a shame. Okay, let's go ahead and hit play. Because I think, if I'm correct, Garrett, you would probably know this better than I would, but I think like the basic licensing deal for Fmod is you can do the free version, but you can only do one game per year. Is that right? I think if you do the free version, because otherwise you have to do like a set price per project, I believe. Correct? I could be wrong. Okay, so we're gonna say take. Okay, so that didn't quite do it. I see. Oh. Ah, I see. Perhaps I should do this. Do I ever do anything with event description to like discard it? Perhaps. But also perhaps not. I don't really do much with it. But perhaps I need to. Let's see. Harumph. Yeah, I don't know. I will say I'll give it like 5 more minutes if I can try to get this to work, and then after that I'm probably going to end the stream just because me taking stabs in the dark is not usually the most constructive use of time on air. So we'll see how far I can get. I always hate trying to learn a new system on air, or rather learning the intricacies of a system on air. Yay! Yes! Cool. So that works. Let's go ahead and say hit. Hit. Nice. So that's working. So I'm going to end on a high note tonight and say that we got that working, which makes me happy. So we have fmod sounds now playing through our basic interactions. Let's try the take. So I can say take. We get that, but if I say get, ooh, really? Really? Are you playing or are you not? Let's find out. You are not, are you? How curious. How curious indeed. Hold on. Quack. You're there. I did make it, right? Yeah, it should be playing that. But it's not. Ooh, how curious. Which means that word checks are not playing their audio? We might add that real quick. Word checks. Verb. Word check. Go to definition. Let's go to this. Find all references. And I suppose this is where we do that. It's a little awkward, but we're going to have to say if wc dot audio does not equal 0, fmod sound manager dot play fmod wc dot audio. Oh, right. Well, I guess it's just going to be this transform for now. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this. Hit save, come back to here. Paste that there. Okay. Yes? Question mark? Hey, not exactly what we would want here. Okay, never mind. This is something else. All right, so let's let that compile, and in theory, it should play the audio. So, if we have that working, then that means that our audio is playing through regular outputs. It's playing through word checks. In theory, it should play through item checks and obtainable items, although required items I don't think will do anything right now. So that means that our fmod integration is more or less done in terms of all of the interaction possibilities. So we would still need to work it into things like our level sound effects that are not directly caused by your own interactions, but it should still basically be done. Well, not done. It should be a good stepping stone to finishing it. So let's go ahead and test this out real quick, and then I think we will be done for the night. So take, hit, grab, get. Yes. Yes. All right. So we're gonna end there tonight. We made very good progress. We got all of our editor stuff taken care of now. All that's left is some minor fmod tweaks for required items, I believe, and then we should be good to go. So announcements, not off the top of my head, should be back on Thursday night, regular time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I will see you all then. So as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.